1 minute ago, Westminster has erupted. Keir Starmer is under unprecedented pressure tonight as MPs move to trigger a no-confidence challenge, reigniting Britain's deepest political wound, Brexit. Tempers are flaring, party lines are cracking, and the Prime Minister is now fighting not just the opposition, but his own authority. What happened behind closed doors has shocked Parliament, and the fallout could reshape UK politics within days. Westminster descended into political chaos today as Prime Minister Keir Starmer reportedly erupted in anger following a dramatic move by MPs to initiate a no-confidence push, triggered by mounting backlash over Brexit-related policy decisions. According to political sources, tensions inside Parliament had been building for weeks, but today marked a breaking point. Senior MPs from across factions expressed deep frustration, accusing the government of betraying red lines promised during the election campaign, particularly around Britain post-Brexit sovereignty, trade alignment and regulatory control. Behind closed doors, emergency meetings were held as rumours spread that a formal no-confidence mechanism was being discussed. While Downing Street attempted to project calm, insiders describe an atmosphere of rage, disbelief and open confrontation, with Starmer reportedly furious that the Brexit issue, long thought politically settled, has returned to haunt his leadership. At the heart of the storm is the accusation that the government has quietly shifted its Brexit stance, reopening cooperation frameworks with the EU that critics claim resemble Brexit in name only. Hardline MPs argue this move undermines the referendum result, while others warn it risks alienating millions of voters who backed Labour, expecting a firm post-Brexit direction. As news of the no-confidence move spread, the mood in Westminster corridors turned electric. Opposition figures seized the moment, calling the situation a constitutional embarrassment, while rebel MPs framed their actions as a necessary stand against what they describe as policy deception. Starmer, speaking later to close allies, is said to have rejected claims of betrayal, insisting his approach is about economic stability, national interest, and repairing damaged relationships. However, critics argue that the political cost may now be unavoidable. This is no longer just a policy dispute. It is a test of authority. A no-confidence threat, even if it fails, signals something far more dangerous for any Prime Minister: loss of control. And tonight, as Britain watches closely, one question dominates the political landscape. Is this the beginning of a leadership crisis, or just the opening act of something much bigger? The fallout from the no-confidence threat against Keir Starmer has spread far beyond Westminster, with public opinion quickly polarising. Social media platforms erupted as ordinary citizens, political commentators and journalists dissected every statement and leaked detail from Parliament. Hashtags related to Starmer, Brexit betrayal and MPs' revolt began trending within hours, highlighting the level of national attention the situation has drawn. Supporters of the Prime Minister argue that his actions are pragmatic and necessary, emphasising stability in trade and governance, while critics accuse him of breaking trust with the electorate and failing to uphold key promises. Across the country, the political tension has translated into street-level reactions. Protest groups have organised demonstrations in major cities, from London to Manchester, calling for accountability and demanding that Starmer respect the will of the people. Some gatherings remain peaceful, with banners and chants emphasising democratic accountability. Others, however, turned heated, with police intervening to prevent clashes between opposing groups. Analysts note that these events reflect a wider frustration with political leadership and growing polarisation over post-Brexit policies. Within Parliament, MPs are feeling the pressure from both their constituents and the media spotlight. Senior members of Starmer's party are reportedly torn, with some privately expressing concern that the no-confidence vote, whether successful or not, could embolden opposition forces and weaken internal cohesion. Party strategists are said to be scrambling to manage the narrative, coordinating public statements and media appearances to mitigate the perception of chaos. Meanwhile, opposition leaders are capitalising on the unrest, framing it as a failure of leadership at the highest level and pushing for concessions on policy decisions, particularly around trade, immigration and EU cooperation. Financial markets and business communities have also reacted cautiously to the ongoing uncertainty. Analysts warn that continued political instability may impact investor confidence, particularly as Starmer's administration faces scrutiny over post-Brexit regulatory alignment and trade deals. Companies operating across the UK and Europe are reportedly closely monitoring Parliament, worried that a no-confidence vote could disrupt policy direction, complicate negotiations, and influence long-term planning. Experts suggest that even temporary instability in leadership can trigger ripple effects across sectors, from manufacturing to finance. Finally, media coverage has played a critical role in shaping public perception. National broadcasters and digital news outlets are emphasising the dramatic nature of Starmer's response, portraying a Prime Minister pushed to his limits as MPs challenge his authority. Editorials and opinion pieces vary widely, from condemnation to cautious defence, but all point to the same central theme. This moment represents a historic confrontation in UK politics, and its outcome may define Starmer's premiership for years to come. As the no-confidence vote looms, the UK faces a tense period of political uncertainty. Parliament is expected to convene in emergency sessions over the coming days, and all eyes are on how Starmer will navigate this unprecedented challenge. Senior advisers suggest that the Prime Minister is preparing a series of statements aimed at reassuring both MPs and the public, emphasising his commitment to post-Brexit stability, economic growth and national unity. Yet even with careful messaging, insiders warn that every word will be scrutinised and a single misstep could further fuel opposition momentum. The political stakes are enormous. Should the no-confidence vote succeed, it could trigger early general elections, reshaping the British political landscape and potentially allowing opposition parties to capitalise on perceived weaknesses in Starmer's leadership. Even if the vote fails, the symbolic impact may be equally damaging, signalling a loss of authority and growing dissent within his own party. Analysts point out that this situation tests not only Starmer's policy decisions, but also his ability to maintain discipline among MPs, manage internal rivalries, and present a united front during turbulent times. International observers are also closely monitoring developments. Brexit-related decisions have direct implications for trade negotiations, diplomatic relations, and market stability. Governments in the EU and beyond are watching how the UK's leadership responds to internal dissent, which could affect ongoing agreements, partnerships, and investor confidence. Political analysts warn that extended uncertainty could undermine Britain's credibility on the global stage, particularly in sensitive economic sectors. And international trade forums, meanwhile, the public's attention remains intense. Citizens, activists, and political commentators continue to debate, protest, and speculate about potential outcomes. Polls released overnight suggest that while some voters remain loyal to Starmer, a significant portion of the electorate is deeply concerned about leadership effectiveness and the future direction of post-Brexit policy. This heightened scrutiny adds pressure on the Prime Minister to act decisively, balancing political survival with long-term governance objectives. Ultimately, the next few days could define Starmer's premiership and reshape the UK's political landscape. Whether he emerges stronger, weakened, or forced to negotiate concessions, this episode underscores the fragile balance of power, the volatility of modern British politics, and the enduring impact of Brexit on national unity. One thing is certain, Britain is watching, tensions are high, and the political drama is far from over.